How's it going, guys? It's Poetry Shed, and welcome back to another episode of the Europa Universalis 4 Take That von Habsburg campaign, where we are just sort of chilling. I don't know what we're doing. I'm gonna scoot my chair up, so just give me a second. I want to get more comfortable. There we go. I want to get more comfortable so that I can sort of focus less on like leaning forward so I'm next to the mic and just be next to the mic, and that way I can focus on the game. It's a little more comfortable anyways. So we have Croatian separatists probably about to fire, which means why don't we have our army maintenance up? That's quite dumb of me. Okay, we didn't fire that month, so we're probably going to be okay. Let's figure out where they're going to fire. They're probably going to fire in Dalmatia. Dalmatia. No, no one says it like that. They might go in Lika, though. So let's just sit here like this. Do we have another general? We do. We have a backup general, so that's good. Fajer or something. Okay, they popped in Dalmatia. That's fine. Yeah, we're gonna need this manpower to fight rebels for the next little while. We're gonna have quite a few rebels, I feel, beyond just those separatists. Protestantism entrenched, and where was the third center of Reformation? It was in Braunschweig. Okay, so it's both of them were in northern Germany, and then ours was here. So that means that we're probably gonna, I don't know, like it's impossible to really predict, but let's make some predictions about what it's gonna look like. So I think that this is gonna be a fairly strong Protestant Reformation. The reason why is because all of Germany is pretty much going to flip, I'm pretty sure, with this area being covered. And I might make it so that Austria even flips, and Poland even, you know? So we might have some bigger countries flip. And then, you know, who knows beyond that. Living disaster, sure. Okay. Let's go ahead and keep converting stuff. We have the plutocratic coup, right? Yeah, so burghers, we need to take your land away. There you go, you're happy. They actually are. They're not even that mad. Why? You not even that mad, bro? Come on, bro. I think we might want to go ahead and go to war with Bosnia. We have all this aggressive expansion room that we have to work with, and we don't, you know, we should definitely be on cooldown, or you know what I mean. I'm gonna take this interest per annum right now over taking tech. As long as we're not too far ahead, I'd rather not take tech. Besides maybe military, we'll see. Bohemia, you don't have an heir. That's interesting. Except I can't really personally make use of that, unfortunately. Yeah, so they're. I don't know if I want to even risk like giving. I don't know, man. I could enforce the religion again, which is hilarious. I don't know if I want to like do that. Basically, let's see, Serbia, or no, Bosnia. Okay, so Bosnia has claims. I think we might just like eat Hungary, or eat Serbia now. Yeah, we're ahead of time on tech. Let's go ahead and eat Serbia. Oh, they have to. That's right. Okay. I feel like we should eat Serbia, and the reason why is because I don't want them to get any stronger, essentially. Whereas Bosnia, they're gonna be. We have plenty of time where we could just eat them and then feed them back their cores in Ragusa. So that would probably be better than making Serbia deal with the rebels there and stuff. Probably better anyway, so might as well do that. Okay. Yeah, I think this is a good idea. Maybe not the best idea even, but I think it's good enough. So let's try it. Let's go ahead and real quick. Want to give you a gift maybe? It's so nice having a lot of diplomats. Okay, speed it up a little bit. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to like turn my monitor. I get like all not paranoid, OCD about like where if my monitor is facing the right direction and stuff. It's probably just like a weird quirk that I have. Probably not super common, I would imagine. Yeah. So if we're not gonna go to war with Bosnia, let's lower the army maintenance for now. Okay. Now beyond that, let's just like sort of chill here and whatnot. Okay, Ottomans are declaring on the Mamluks. Interesting. annex you. I'm gonna annex you. I think that's a good idea. Why is it going so slow? That's what I want to know. Part of it is because of our diplomatic reputation. You're 1.3, yeah, so we definitely, I don't think we want to buy a more expensive one. Yeah, so that has cut down the time it's going to take by quite a bit. I will definitely take stability in this situation. Not every situation. Sometimes I'll take the prestige, but in this situation, we need as much help as we can get with stuff like that. Cyprus is lacking an heir. They are. That means they're Christian. Sometimes they flip to Sunni, and I'm not sure why. What makes it Lusignan? Okay, so the Lusignan's still in charge. I wonder if you would marry me. No. Okay. Hold on, I'm adjusting some stuff. Okay. Well, what do we want to do right now? Naples is at war with England and Sligo. Again, I don't want to like take this tech yet because our leader might die, you know? Venice could be a good one. I'm gonna take that guy back. I don't really need him if I'm gonna be vassalizing them. I don't want to do that. I think I'd rather fight the rebels actually. In Sopron, that's like, where's that? That's right there, yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with fighting some rebels, honestly. I don't really mind. Huh. It's interesting, you know. This is kind of related to this game, or I don't know, but it's not really. It's interesting how, like, being American, in America, religion is important to our history, but it's not like as big as it is in other places like Europe. I'm pretty sure. I mean, again, I might be speaking out of my behind here, but it seems to me that, like, for whatever reason, well, I mean, there are reasons, and I guess we can talk about that in a second, but like, there's a much higher like emphasis on the religious history of like Europe than there is on the Americas, and I guess part of that is probably because of the Protestant background of America. I don't know. Like the fact that it was formed by Puritans in exile and French Huguenots and other groups that were sort of persecuted where they came from. Maybe that sort of made it so that they wanted less of a focus on religious tolerance / intolerance and just wanted that to be not a factor at all. I don't know. But it's interesting. There's historical reasons and stuff and basis for that, but it is interesting to me that it's a big thing in Europe, the sort of like the fact that like 500 years ago or whatever, people were fighting wars about over religion and stuff, and well, obviously there are wars of religion today, so I'm not saying that's like not a thing, because America is involved in stuff like that too, but no, so I'm not trying to like whitewash that, but no, what I mean is like the fact that sort of like both on the battlefield and off, like intellectual battles of religion and stuff were such a big thing in this time period. It's a little bit different than it is in I'm telling you what, I'm just gonna take this tech. Oh gosh, it costs so much though. Oh, we're a great power now. Again, I mean, there's a good chance that part of this is just me speaking out my ass, but I do, for one thing I know for certain is that like in places like well, just in Europe in general, I know that not just the Catholic countries, even like there's a very, very big like sort of like focus on the idea of like churches being places that you do not mess with. Like you don't mess with churches, you don't kill people in churches and stuff like that. Even if it's of another denomination. I've heard that and I've read that in books, but I'm not sure how true that is. So I don't know, but I have heard that like supposedly you don't you're very respectful of the churches in Europe. Like it's sort of like a cultural thing. Even if you're atheist, even apparently, again, correct me if this is wrong, but I read this in like a book about Catalonia that I'm reading, and it was talking about this. It was saying that that was all the reason more. It was talking about this in context of the anarchists of Catalonia and how the fact that they were able to willing to burn down churches was something that made them really stand out, since churches are so looked upon as like sort of places you don't mess with out of respect and stuff. But I don't know. So like, but the fact that like during this time period there was people burning down churches and like killing people because of especially in places like Germany and stuff, because of the fact that they sort of had religious differences. That idea is it's something that is a little bit foreign to Americans, I would say. Because although there have been religious conflicts in the United States, and there still will be, and there still are, most of them aren't they aren't involved at like that level. I don't know if that makes any sense. But like, I think Americans are a little more just sort of like, I'm not even like talking about like day-to-day life as much as just sort of like the way we think about his history and our historical backgrounds. Like when we think of like our religious backgrounds, we're like, oh yeah, whatever, we're Methodist or gosh darn it, Baptist, or we're Mormon or we're whatever. It's like, oh, our family have been this way for a few generations. We're Catholic. We're whatever. You're whatever, and we'll go to church, and then that's it. There's not as much of a focus on the sort of the differences there, I think. Oh, colonialism. There we go. I forgot about that. Coming up soon. Let's see. Where do we go? Yeah, fudge, in Scotland. Up in Lothian. Well, that sucks, but I mean, yeah, whatever. Hopefully it'll reach us at a decent pace, but we'll see. But yeah, so like, I guess part of it is because of the fact that it's not as integral to the history of America as it is to other places. Like in Europe, it's if you want to understand the history of Europe, especially, I think that's the biggest thing probably, now I think about it, is that like in Europe, if you want to like even understand the history of Europe in the past 1,000 years, if you want to even begin to understand it, you have to like understand the religious background as well as the religious conflicts, because it's so intertied with the politics and the stuff of the region. So I guess I understand that. I think that's probably part of it, if I am willing to make guesses. But again, I'm not trying to offend anyone. This is just like sort of poetry spitballs what he perceives, even if it might be wrong. But yeah, like it is such an integral part of the history of Europe, whereas religion itself, although it is one of the founding parts of our country, meaning America, the U.S., one of the founding parts is based on religion, but it is like, it's almost like the founding fathers wanted religion to not be a factor. So it's like, it's almost like they gave less importance to it because they ideally wanted it to have less importance in determining stuff, which is, I mean, I think it's good personally. I think it's good that that's the way they did it, but yeah, whereas it's a little bit different when your whole country, or like a lot of the times in your country in Europe, depending on what country you live in, the religious conflicts and changes that you've gone through might be a big sort of factor determining your history. Like for most of Europe, that was like the Reformation was a big sort of like revolution of ideas and stuff that really changed a lot of stuff. And I guess I can understand that. I'd like to get military right now. So I don't know. Again, I might be spitting out complete BS here, but hopefully I'm not making myself look like an idiot. Like I'm trying to think about this with a critical perspective towards myself, and like trying to make sure I'm not saying stuff that I'm making out of nowhere. And then Austria, Bohemia is pretty strong. Oh, hey, they flipped to Protestant. Cool. Huh, interesting. But yeah, so I think it's like, I think that's part of it, is that just like when your whole, when a lot of the history of the past 500 years for your country has been really, really impacted by religion, then I guess it's a much bigger, like, sort of like cultural touchstone, and something that you think about more when you're learning about the culture and the history of your country, I would imagine. Like, for instance, like a place like Holland, like the Netherlands, is fairly tolerant and stuff, I know, even today. And I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of that is because it has been that way and was sort of like a haven for religious refugees for a long time. So it would make sense that that kind of, that a history of religious tolerance and stuff is a big thing even today that you learn about. You would learn about the, the religion is a big thing you think about, whereas in a place like America, it's not as big of a deal, I guess. I don't know. Again, maybe I don't really necessarily know what I'm talking about, so who knows. But those of you who are European, of which there are probably a couple, I would really like to know. I'd love to hear your perspective. All right, so we have converted another nation because we'd forced a religious unity or whatever. We have converted provinces, and we have joined the Reformation. We're not going to do this. We are not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We might do this. Own all provinces of your culture group. We can't really do that because of the fact that some of them are owned by Moldavia. Otherwise, we would already have it, actually. So that sucks. But, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? But yeah. Who are our other relations? Is there anyone we could drop out? No, we need those other ones. So anyways, though, but that's my whole spiel. It seems like it's there is a little bit of a difference in oh, what? What is this? Huh. Apparently the Black Army no longer exists anyways. That's interesting. Is it because we got too far behind in military tech? That's weird. Huh. Well, I guess we got good stuff out of it, so that's fine by me. But, let's go and do some stuff. There we go. We are out of debt. We're debt-free. I still am debating on whether or not we should abdicate, but we got another 3 years, so we gotta make that decision again. So anyways, though, I would love to hear some perspectives about what I was just thinking about, because I'm pretty sure that I do not have the full picture, but, oh no, we lost religious zeal, but I do hope to, to understand that a little better. Regardless of the reasons, I'm pretty sure most people would agree there is a little bit of a sort of a cultural difference in the amount of like focus and importance given to like religious history. In the U.S., it's not nearly as important, which is it's a shame, honestly, because even if you're not religious, even if you're atheist, I think it's very important to understand to understand religion in the Western world, if you are in the Western world, or in other places if you're in other places, for that matter. But I think it's a good idea to understand religion, even if you do not like it. And I can understand that. That's annoying, but I will do that. Torda. Yeah. No. Here. Make our ruler a general. There you go. But yeah, so I think there, yeah, again, regardless of the reasons, I think there definitely is sort of like a cultural difference between Americans and Europeans, even though, like, in the Western world, which by that I mean, like, you know, I mean, like, Europe and the Americas and whatnot, in Australia, I guess, you know, in the Western world, we sort of have a similar mindset on a lot of things, but I do think that there is a little bit of, there are some differences, including with Austria. How did you get down so far on the rankings? There are some differences though between for instance, like American countries, and by this I don't just mean like America. I mean like Canada and even like Mexico and Latin America have their own differences that separate the Americas from Europe, and I think a big part of that is like religious differences and stuff. Sort of like the way we think about our religious history and stuff. I think there is definitely a difference there, even if I don't necessarily know the reasons. I think, and so that's kind of what I want to find out. You know, why might that be? Because there is sort of a differing perceptions of like religion as a big part of history, or just as one part of history, and maybe not as major of a part of our country's history. You know. So, anyways, but I couldn't imagine. It would be so interesting. Like, if you had a time machine, I would love to go back to, like, the 1500s and just listen in on some religious debates. Oh, Vienna got converted. That's interesting. You know, listen in on some religious debates between whoever, the Catholic Church and whoever. Listen to some debates and, like, figure out what is, what is going on here? What are these conflicts like? What is it like to live as a common person in this time period and hear about all these things getting thrown around from one side to the other, and like knowing that your country's fighting another over stuff like this? You know, what would that be like? You know, I can't imagine. To be in a country and now you're Protestant. You know, now your country is saying that you're Protestant instead of Catholic, and your family's been Catholic for hundreds and hundreds of years. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you're willing to embrace it, but other people in your town aren't. You know, what would that be like? What would sort of the cultural norms be in that situation? Would you be angry at the other people? Would you be angry at the other people that are like now trying to? Where's this? It's Somoji. Right there. Yeah, would you be angry at the other people that are staying Catholic, or like you personally? I don't mean like the country. Obviously, the government wants to like portray that anger or whatever. But would you, as the ruler of the country, or no, wrong, opposite. Would you, as like not the ruler of the country, as just a person, would you be angry at the other people for staying to their Catholic roots? Would you understand that, or would you just think that they're stupid? You know, it's really interesting to me to think about how would this work. So, anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Please go ahead and leave a like and subscribe for more if you enjoyed. Kind of a weird episode talking about religion. It's a little bit of a touchy subject, but you know, I hope that I am not giving away my own opinions on religion at all, because I try not to do that in general. But hopefully, I'm just talking about like sort of like the historical background of stuff. So, anyways, weird episode. Leave a like and subscribe for more if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.